What's happening around the world and what's happening here at home. A very good evening to you. This is Weekend Primetime News and I'm Sandro Ferdinando and here are your headlines for tonight.
President leaves for Vatican City on an invitation from His Holiness Pope Francis. Former Minister Basil Rajapaksa to be summoned before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry to investigate large-scale corruption and fraud.
රුපියල් ලක්ෂ 1500කින් ඇමතිවරයාගේ ගුවන් ගමන් වලට බිල්පත් ගෙවීම රටට යහපත්ද අයහපත්?
Government's attention drawn to developing Colombo.
අපවීමක් ආවම තමයි සීන සැබෑවෙන්නේ.
Saudi Arabia elects its first female politician.
President Maithripala left to Rome today on a two-day official visit.
Issuing a communique, the President's media division said that President Maithripala left for a visit to the Vatican on an invitation extended by His Holiness Pope Francis I. This will be the second meeting between the President and the Pope since the visit of the Holy Father to Sri Lanka in January. Following the meeting between the President and Pope Francis, Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, said that the Pope had commended the President for his charm and simple lifestyle and that those qualities are exemplary to the world leaders of today.
In local news, former Minister Basil Rajapaksa is to be summoned before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into serious acts of fraud and corruption. Now, speaking to Newsfirst, the Secretary of the Commission, Basil de Silva, confirmed the matter.
Secretary of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry, Basil de Silva, says that an investigation has been launched into an incident where the funds of the Divinagama department have been allegedly used for the domestic air travel expenses of former Minister Basil Rajapaksa. The Secretary added that the initial investigations revealed that a sum of 155.6 million rupees was given to the Sri Lanka Air Force for Basil Rajapaksa's air travel expenses. De Silva noted that a former accountant of the Ministry of Economic Development and several other officials of the Sri Lanka Air Force were questioned and further investigations will be carried out with regard to this issue. 4 individuals, including Basil Rajapaksa, were arrested under the Public Property Act for allegedly misusing funds of the Divinagama department on the 22nd of April following an investigation carried out by the Financial Crimes Investigation Division. The quartet, including Basil Rajapaksa, were remanded after they were produced before the Kaduvela Magistrates Court and were later released on bail, which was set at 100,000 rupees each and 4 sureties of 1 million rupees each on the 15th of June.
Minister Sajid Premadasa had this to say today on the matter of Divinagama funds being allocated for air transport. The minister was speaking at an event that was held in the Valigatha area in Hambantota. The Samurdhi scheme is a concession for the poor of this country. They changed this to Divinagama. In the recent past, 150 million rupees from the Divinagama department fund has been used for the minister's transportation within the country. This is a poor man's money. This has been revealed by the Presidential Commission. Are Samurdhi funds allocated so the minister can spend 150 million on trips around the country? This money has been stolen. They are saying now that the good governance government is harmful to the country. So when 150 million from the Divinagama fund is used to pay the minister's air transport bills, is that good for the country?
ගුවන් ගමන් වලට බිල්පත් ගෙවීම රටට යහපත්ද අයහපත්?
A collective of trade unions convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
හිටපු අමාත්‍ය බැසිල් රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයාට තිබ්බ හදිස්සිය මත
It has been 2 years or 709 days since the Divinagama department was established by the haste of former Minister Basil Rajapaksa. 24,001 employees are functioning in various positions at this department. All 25,001 of these employees' jobs are at risk. The previous government and the good governance government have failed to fulfill the promises made to these employees. Therefore, all of the Divinagama department officers will refrain from carrying out the 2016 survey to identify low-income families.
2016 අඩුවාදායලාභී පවුල් හඳුනා ගැනීමේ සමීක්ෂණයෙන් දිවයින පුරාම දිවිනගම සංවර්ධන නිලධාරීන්
JB Western Provincial Councillor Asoka Ranwala has filed a complaint with the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption and the Police Financial Crimes Investigation Division. The complaint is based on an alleged overdraft facility of 100 million rupees granted to litigation support consultant Nihal Sriyamarsekara by the Bank of Ceylon.
The complaints filed by JVP Provincial Councillor Asoka Ranwala state that Nihal Sri Amarasekara had allegedly requested for an overdraft facility of 100 million rupees from the Bank of Ceylon on the 9th of December 2014 to meet his urgent commitments. According to the complaint, Nihal Sri Amarasekara has informed the BOC that this overdraft will be regularized before a period of 1 month with the release of certain monies from the Treasury. On the 17th of December 2014, Senaka Walgampaya, competent authority at the time for Hotel Developers Lanka PLC, wrote to the Deputy Treasury Secretary S.R. Atigala and quotes from the Merchant Bank of Sri Lanka report saying, quote, "The liability to pay Mr. Amarasekara any sum of money is not established." Unquote. In the letter addressed to the Bank of Ceylon, Nihal Sri Amarasekara had requested for an overdraft facility of 100 million rupees on the 9th of December 2014, which should be made available to his current account by the morning of the 10th. In his letter of request, Amarasekara assures that the overdraft facility will be regularized before a period of 1 month. In a board resolution of the Bank of Ceylon dated 16th December 2014, it was resolved that a temporary overdraft facility of 100 million rupees was agreed to Nihal Sri Amarasekara for a period of 30 days from the 15th of December 2014. The same board paper reveals that the account for which Amarasekara sought the overdraft facility was opened on the 17th of November 2014, just a month prior to his request for the overdraft. Meanwhile, in its Sunday edition, the Ceylon Today reports that Nihal Sri Amarasekara has in fact been asked to appear before the Financial Crimes Investigation Division regarding the alleged 100 million rupee scandal less than a month before the presidential election. Newsfirst's attempts to contact Nihal Sri Amarasekara for a response on the matter were futile. Speaking to the hot seat on Newsfirst, President's Counsel Hemantha Warnakulasuriya termed the transaction disgraceful and shocking.
I was shocked to hear this 100 million rupees given to any individual who has opened a bank account few months ago, and then on the basis of a letter written by an official for the bank to authorize this is unbelievable. I believe in this case the investigation must be carried out not only as to how this money was given, but also who authorized it, and even what made the general manager or the chairman of that particular bank to authorize this huge loan.
Now you can watch the full interview with President's Counsel Hemantha Warnakulasuriya on Hot Seat on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on MTV. Moving on to more local news, various views were expressed regarding the measures that would be taken by trade unions against certain proposals of the budget.
If the 8-hour workday is ended along with the 5-day work week, and if workers are not paid overtime, then they will lose that security. We warn this government that they will not be able to receive the GSP Plus concession if they work to fulfill the wants of the employers. We have no alternative but to work against this. The executive committee met at midnight yesterday and reached a decision to commence a strike from midnight on the 14th. We attempted to hold talks over and over again with the government considering the GCE O-level examinations, but all discussions were unsuccessful. We are not part of the Joint Trade Union Alliance that will stage a strike on the 15th. However, neither are we opposed to this strike. We will function as usual and will not be an obstacle to the group that is striking. It is not good to do things that are harmful to the people. Just because they strike, what will they achieve? What will happen to the people who have nothing? The people who govern this country were not given free education for this purpose. I do not think that these demands are justified for them to take to the streets. This government, including the President and the Prime Minister, held fair discussions with the trade unions and made these decisions. It is only the emissions test that is remaining. Everything else has been fulfilled. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe will make a special statement in Parliament tomorrow, clarifying the government's stance on the demands that were made by trade union representatives during talks held yesterday and today.
The Foreign Ministry says that the U.S. Under-Secretary of State for Political Affairs Thomas Shannon will arrive in the country tomorrow on a 2-day official visit.
The Government Information Department said that he will be accompanied by the Deputy Assistant Secretary for South Asia, Manpreet Singh Anand. During his stay, Ambassador Shannon will meet with senior government and parliament leaders, business leaders and civil society, as well as tour a US aid-funded livelihoods project in the eastern province. The US Embassy in Colombo said that during his visit, Ambassador Shannon will reaffirm US support for Sri Lanka's reform agenda and explore greater cooperation in development, security, economic growth and regional connectivity. Thomas A. Shannon Jr. was appointed Councillor of the Department by Secretary Kerry on the 24th of December 2013. Ambassador Shannon had served briefly as Senior Advisor to the Secretary following his return in September from Brazil, where he served as United States Ambassador for nearly 4 years. Ambassador Shannon is only the 7th Foreign Service officer to hold the position of Councillor since World War II and the first in 32 years.
A program to provide compensation for residents who are affected by the expansion of the Avisavela-Colombo low-level road was held at the Colombo Divisional Secretariat today. 7.2 billion rupee estimate for the road expansion project includes a 3.5 billion rupee allocation for compensation. Therefore, under phase 1 of the project, a sum of 250 million rupees was distributed among 106 individuals. The expansion of the Avisavela-Colombo low-level road is scheduled to commence in February 2016.
You all should be thankful to MP Marikar. Whenever we meet at Parliament, he kept telling me to commence work on this road. It was his interest that gave us strength and courage to commence work on this road. When the local MPs are committed, we can get the work done. We need that interest. We need to have that urgency.
MP Marika is fighting for Colombo and further provided rupees 150 million. You need to be mindful that a sum of rupees 1.5 million has been given to each Gram Niladari division in this area. This alone is enough for you to develop this country. If this is not enough, we will provide another 150 million rupees. But you need to be aware that there are many extremists who are trying to do politics. When these two parties are coming together, who are they trying to strike against? Is it through Basil Rajapaksa, who is responsible for the poor state of the economy?
I believe that people should have dreams. Once they have a dream, they would look for possible ways to achieve it. When there is a plan, there is commitment. Only when there is commitment will dreams become reality. The garbage in Colombo should not be brought into Colombo and must be redirected elsewhere. When I took the position of organizer and contested the election, people asked me if there wasn't any other electorate for me to contest from. But then I formed a dream to turn Colombo into something that people would call the perfect place in the future. Today marks the first day of this dream becoming a reality.
It is the responsibility of the country to empower its women. The campaign Empower the Woman, which is dedicated to this cause, entered its 11th day today.
One leg of the awareness program aimed at empowering the women of the country commenced from the Avisavala main bus stand today. The campaign, which is an initiative of Newsfirst.lk and Shakti with the aim of securing women's equality and security, is carried out together with the Sri Lanka Police, Ministry of Local Government and Provincial Council, District and Divisional Secretariats. A group including senior officials of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited too joined the campaign today.
Capital Maharaja සංවිධානය විශේෂයෙන්ම කාන්තාවන්ගේ සමානත්වය ගැන
The Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited has worked for the equality of women from the beginning. 35% of our board of directors are made up of women. The first executive of the year was also a woman, Mrs. Munasinghe. Also, if you look at MBC and MTV networks, both the directors who are administering it are female. Therefore, the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited has not only treated women with equality, but also ensures the safety of its female employees.
කිරීමෙන් ස්ත්‍රීන්ගේ සුරක්ෂිතත්වයත් තහවුරු කරනවා.
We have undertaken several events such as this for the betterment of the country. This program is being done for the well-being of women. We invite all women in the country to join hands with this initiative.
Another leg of the program was held at the Sri Jayabodhi Vihara in Avisavila, where a platform was created for women in the area to raise their concerns and solutions to the issues they face. I challenge my fate, which is why I am here today. We can win the world through our efforts. Another leg of the Empower the Woman campaign, which commenced from the north, reached Mannar today. The team then went from door to door and created awareness among the women.
The grand finale of Series a Queen, Manhunt and Best Costume Designer 2015 was held last evening.
24 contestants showcased their talent to qualify from among a vast pool of contestants for the grand finale of Series a Queen, Manhunt and Best Costume Designer 2015. A large crowd attended the event, which was held at Stein Studios in Rathmalana, to witness the glitz, glamour and triumphs. Nathalie Tatsara was adjudged the winner of Series a Queen. Yash Mihran won the Series a Manhunt. Aisha Abewardena was able to obtain the first place in the Best Costume Designer contest, which was conducted for the first time to showcase the talent of Sri Lankan designers.
Best Costume Designer 2015,
Shampika Priyashan, a talented singer who clinched 4th place in Citizen Superstar Season 3, released his debut album today. The event was held under the auspices of Western Provincial Councillor Susil Kindelpitia at the auditorium of the Ratnapura Library. It's not easy to create artists. I am happy as a member of the MTV MBC organization and also as a politician that through this program they have built a platform to bring out many unique artists in this country. We know that we did not have any programs to bring out unique artists in the history of our country. Our leaders in the past did not initiate any programs of the sort. I believe that the subject of talented artists should be the people they represent, their pulse and their desires. The 150th anniversary celebrations of the Colombo Municipal Council was held in Colombo today.
Happy that today we are implementing this concept of working together national level, with the two major parties forming a national government. I am also happy to state that the government is taking necessary steps to change the electoral system and to introduce the vote system. Hopefully, this system will be introduced at the next local government election scheduled for next year, which is very likely to be March or April in 2016.
The present government, in the Honourable Prime Minister's policy speech, has set out the creation of a megapolis. The idea is that we make Colombo and its environs the most livable city in South Asia. But alongside that, we also have to look at other issues, the issue of land ownership and the ownership of condominiums and such like. The most important aspect of futuristic cities, the necessary existence of a hinterland. We have to clarify our land laws, but we are lucky we are having big investors like you've seen the Shangri-La Group. We have the prospect of China Harbour Engineering Corporation coming in and building a 3 square kilometre port city.
The Colombo has emerged as one of the fastest growing destinations in Southeast Asia. We are privileged to have the first city in the world to discuss future cities after the historic climate treaty in Paris signed by all the countries of the world yesterday.
Colombo, amongst the major cities in Sri Lanka, needs to draw a coherent strategy that sets clear priorities for creating a better home for tomorrow. However, to do this, we need to involve the public sector, the private sector, and the people. We have to ensure that future growth is sustainable and is also green. Thus, cities must become not only smart, but they need to be green cities too.
Issues surrounding the transfer of students from the private medical college in Malabar for training in government hospitals were discussed on the Satana program on Sirasa TV last evening.
It has been proposed through the budget to allocate 250 billion rupees for the Jayawardenepura hospital, to give 2,500 million or 2,000 million. Why are they giving this much money to the Jayawardenepura hospital? This is the money of the people. This is being given to Saitam in Malabar, the rogue degree shop in Malabar. It was a promise made by us to the nursing school that we will construct a nursing university. That was a promise made by us. That was a request. We have been requested to arrive at a decision on the 15th. Tell him that I cannot wait without doing anything as a minister. I have to provide answers in the case of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has given a judgment to provide the practicals immediately. This is not a judgment provided by the Supreme Court, it is an agreement. If you have decided not to privatize medical education, then that is impractical.
The groundbreaking TAPI gas pipeline project linking Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan and India commenced in Murree, Turkmenistan today. And incidentally, the Capital Maharaj organization was represented at the launch of the project. Newsfirst Shamir Rasuluddin exclusively caught up with Indian Cabinet Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas Dharmendra Pradhan, former Ambassador of Pakistan to Turkmenistan Tariq Usman and Dr. Daud Sabah, Afghan Minister of Gas and Mines.
How significant is this for India?
We are here to attend the neutrality conference. On sideline of this neutrality conference, the much sought after, the ambitious project of west to east pipeline, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India pipeline. This project will serve two purposes. One is economic. This will be very economically viable project for the Central Asia to Southern Asia. And number two, we will revisit our old cultural tie-up through this pipeline.
Minister, in India, the gas requirement is, you all need a requirement of 50% in India in terms of gas. How would this initiative help India to cope up with this gas requirement?
Let me explain you in this way. My Prime Minister is a very visionary man. He has a very focused plan to convert the energy towards gas. We are now concentrating gas as a new fuel, new source of energy. We want to increase our gas-based energy sector. So gradually we want to source from the different part of the world LNG as an important fuel.
South Asia, is it a victory for South Asia in terms of this gas pipeline which is going to be constructed?
Certainly this gas pipeline from west to east, particular to Southeast Asia, this will be a new initiative. Since old days there was a Silk Route, we can say in the recent time this will create a new pathway for economic growth.
Ambassador Tariq Usman, how significant is the gas pipeline to your country, Pakistan?
It's very significant. We have an extremely grave energy shortfall. And if we get the gas from here in time, it will allow us to grow our economy much faster. And secondly, it goes on to India, it will be a confidence building measure between India and Pakistan as well in the whole of South Asia.
Ambassador Tariq Usman, in terms of Asia, what benefits can Asia reap from the gas pipeline?
Well, there are three main benefits. First of all, it will stabilize Afghanistan, help stabilize Afghanistan. The Afghan factions can realize you can make more out of peace than war. And although it's 21 years later than it should have been, but still it's better than that. Secondly, it can show Asia that internal connectivity in energy is very important. Otherwise, the energy from Central Asia tends to flow towards Europe. And thirdly, between India and Pakistan, if there is stability, peace and stability in South Asia, it's good for the whole region, it's good for the world.
How significant is this for Afghanistan?
I think it will be a changer of the whole economy and geopolitics, not only for Afghanistan but in our region. this will connect for the first time the energy-rich Central Asia with South Asia, and we hope that by economic integration of Pakistan, Afghanistan and India, we will have the beginning of another era of cooperation, peace and stability.
Given the security situation in Afghanistan currently, is it feasible to construct such a gas pipeline crossing the borders, Minister?
Well, I think it's absolutely feasible because the communities along this pipeline, they are very cooperative. And so far in the past 13 years, despite the negative media on Afghanistan, we do not have even one example of an infrastructure project that has not been secured. So we already have a model of securing our infrastructure projects, and it's the resolve of the people of Afghanistan to fight with international terrorism and regional terrorism, and I don't believe that they will be stronger than our communities in terms of disturbing their life and stability once giving them this opportunity.
And now in sports news, at stumps on day 4 of the first test between Sri Lanka and New Zealand, Sri Lanka chasing a target of 405 for victory were 109 for 3, requiring a further 296 runs with 7 wickets in hand. And with that, we wrap up weekend primetime news. For the News First team, I'm Sandru Ferdinando. Do take care and good night.